coil class, lesson 2.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Wrong juice, asshole. Look what I got back. Dot mod Trinity glass cap, motherfucker. So much better. People ask me what my favorite Squonk RDA is. Definitely the Dot 24 with the Trinity glass. Definitely. Definitely the Dot 24 with the Trinity glass. Wonderful, wonderful. What is up, everybody? So welcome to coil class, lesson 2. Tools of the trade, extensions, and captures. So coil class is a series of videos I'm going to do on Tuesday where I'm going to walk through every single coil starting from the beginning to the end. I broke 2 caps, so that's where they went. They went in the trash. So somebody contacted me, said, hey, I heard you needed a Trinity glass top for the dot mod. I have one that I don't like. Send them over. I'll trade you some coils. Loving it. So yeah, I'm going to go over the tools. I'm going to be quick about it. I may make a video on the tools as well because there's just so many and so much I could say about each tool. And it might be better. I didn't get no time to like straighten up the area so I could actually show you the work area. So maybe maybe I'll put out a short video this week of the tools and stuff. But I'm going to go through a couple, especially stuff we're going to be needing today. There's a couple tools I may use today that I don't usually use. Other than that, I'll give you like the basic tools that I have here, stuff like off the top of my head that I have. And I'll try to hit everything, but I just don't think I will. I'm just not too organized right now. So I'm going to go over the tools real quick, and then we'll get on to the builds, extensions, and captures, which are kind of the same thing, but not really. And I'll go over the differences and stuff like that. I hope I'll be able to do both builds. Both the builds are time consuming. I'm going to try to do easier versions of the builds. But anything that you might not see, I may make a video just like I did last week of just like I did last week with the macro coils and all that stuff. So yeah, tools. So obviously there's tools that you just need. Usually Coil Master has them kits that gives you like the basics that you need. Like the Coil Master coil jig, that's super important to have. Something like this, I mean, if you have drill bits or screwdrivers you use, that's cool too. But for most stuff, I use this because it also has the measurements on there and stuff, and it just works out good to have all them bits and to have a Coil Master jig. Super important. To me, it is. That's like a must-have for me. I like just buying the kits. I'll spend $30 on the kit, and that's all you need. I actually have like a couple of these. I like to have a couple. See, I have 2 on my table right now. I just like to have them. They're just nice and smooth, and they just have the measurements on them and stuff. So I like to have them. That is a must for me. Another must, of course, is close cutters. I use the Nipex. They last a long time. They're not too expensive. You can get them on eBay for like $20, 15 to $25. They last a long time and they cut really good. So the Nipex, Dawn from Midori Liquid put me onto these. So Nipex, and another big important tool is needle noses. These are from Home Depot. These actually come in a kit with close cutters that work actually pretty well. These are called Crescent USA, and I love these so much. I've went through so many sets. I've given away a couple sets, but I always keep 2 of the needle noses close by in case I lose one or in case I need to use 2 for stretch and wire for anything, so that they're kind of spring loaded. They're called Crescent USA, and they're like $14 for this and a pair of close cutters. They come in a pack like that at Home Depot, or I'm sure you could order them online. So close cutters, needle noses are a must. Another big must for me, especially when you're getting into the exotic builds, are nylon pliers. These are Beadalon nylon pliers. All right, Beadalon. All right, and where I got these, you could order these online, but I get these from Michaels or AC Moore. They're like $13, and they're nylon tooth, and that helps me flatten my 3-core builds or flatten any builds. You guys see me use these all the time, and they won't damage them because they're nylon. They're like a soft plastic, so it won't damage the metal, but it will flatten it if you need it. I will give shout outs in a second. Let me get through the tool section first. So those are musts. Obviously, with the Coil Master kit, and I mean, everybody I think has screwdrivers. Just these precision screwdrivers. These are from Coil Master. These come with the kit. Phillips and flathead, and they usually always have like a coil wrapping section on there. All right. Another cool coil wrapping tool are these guys right here. They're like a step bit kind of, and it's 4mm 3.53 2.52, or it might be it's 3.53 2.52 1.5. So it's damn near all of these bits in one. It just doesn't have the 4. All right, this is an awesome tool to get. These are like they're like $5 to $9. I think this is a Wodafo. It is. It's a Wodafo, and it'll have the measurements right there, and it just is in order of the way they are. That's a cool one. Another really cool thing to have, isn't a must, but they're just cool to have. Another type of wrapping tool are the ceramic rods. This way you could heat up your coils. You could heat up your coils while you have a rod inside of them. That's like a plus tool. Like if you have it, cool. If not, cool. You could really go without these. Same thing with this. You could go without this. It's just like kind of one of them plus tools. Like you don't really need it. Always, always, always super important to me is a tape measure, a small tape measure. This is like a small guy, or a 12-inch ruler. All right, this is just 12-inch ruler. I marked this so I could see my hybrids better. But anyway, you don't have to do that. A 12-inch ruler that reads inches and metrics, good for building. Tape measure. Important to have a tape measure, very important. Of course, a must for me is a lighter and hot glue. Gotta have hot glue sticks. Any kind of hot glue sticks to keep your builds together. I use these every single video. It would be hard to find a video I didn't use hot glue and a lighter. It would be very, very hard to find a video like that. I also have a torch here. Now, torches were more common back in the day. You would kind of get your hot spots out before you installed your build, or you would get you would pinch your coils and heat them up so they remain tight when you installed them. But torches work for coloring coils. This is kind of another thing, like you don't need it. It helps. You don't need it. A couple other things that you don't need, but it helps is these different kinds of pliers. Now, these are like a rounded plier right here. All right. These rounded pliers are really cool, especially, I may be using these tonight actually. These are cool to have, don't need them. These are cool to have, don't need them. Some kind of 90-degree pliers. They're not 90. They're more of a 45-degree. They're bent needle noses, all right? And they also have a smooth side without teeth on them, which is also important for a lot of builds we're going to get into. With the Coil Master kit, these come with the Coil Master kit for wicking, these tweezers that are really sharp. Ceramic tweezers, always good to have. That's some of the stuff I have on my table. One that you're going to want to buy, especially when we get into flattening builds, is a jeweler's hammer and a jeweler's block. This is just a block of steel. It's very heavy. Very heavy. Block of steel, jeweler's hammer. That's for flattening builds. Nice and polished hammer there for making jewelry or for flattening your cat tracks or whatever. Obviously, I also have a stainless steel mod here that I use to flatten out. I use to roll. This is a clone stainless steel mod, and I'll put my wire on top and roll it. So this is something I always have at the table. Of course, a drill. Cordless drill. You don't have to buy a DeWalt. DeWalt's just the best. That's all. You don't have to buy a DeWalt. You could buy a Ryobi. You could buy a cheap one. It's only coil building. You don't need an expensive drill. I have an expensive drill because I also do construction. So this is like my last drill from construction. Now that I got a new set, this is the one I use for coil building, and I like it because it could go fast and it could go slow. I also have a corded drill for going very fast. That's the one hooked up to my vise, which is also a good thing to have vices. I like to have these clamps around, these Irwin strong springed clamps. You see they put like a big coil in there that they colored black, and they're just strong clamps. I use these for a lot. Just a good thing to have there. Other than that, corrugated builds. The paper quiller. Got this on eBay for like $9. This is a paper quiller. And this is just for corrugating your ribbon. I use the small gear there. You could use other gears as well. All right. That's something that is like, this is for way more exotic builds. This is like for the toughest builds. This may be one of the last things you want to buy. Super important to have is an ohm meter or a mod that could be an ohm reader. All right. A mod that reads ohms. With coil building, you need something to read ohms to be safe. You need something. Get a ohm meter, get a good one. Coil Master usually aren't good ones. They usually always are shit. All right. This thing is a piece of shit. US ohm meters has good ones for not that expensive, but you could always just buy a good mod. Buy a Lux, buy a DNA, buy anything that will read any ohms. You don't want something that only reads 0.1 like a Relo, a 3-battery Relo. It only reads to 0.1 and then you're fucked. You need something that reads at least down to a 0.05. DNAs read them all. All right. Um, Scissors. Fucking scissors. I love scissors for cutting ribbon and cutting my wick. Gotta have them scissors. Gotta have them. I need scissors at my table at all times, especially with ribbon builds. I mean, other than that, that's the main shit right there. That's all the main shit. So we got the Coil Master coil jig, the needle noses, close cutters, nylon pliers, and screwdrivers, hot glue. That's the important stuff with the tape measure. That's like the shit like you kind of need. The hot glue, I guess you don't need. You don't need the hot glue. You could use like masking tape instead, white tape instead. I used to use that a lot, or you could just use wire. All right, but this is the important stuff. The tape measure, the roller, important. Close cutters, needle noses, screwdrivers, something to wrap your bits with, and nylon pliers are important to me, and scissors. All right. The only other thing I almost forgot is a swivel. You need a swivel. I use Croc swivels. These are the most common ones I use. They are stainless steel dual rotation ball bearing swivels. Croc swivels. I use the 330-pound test. So these are number 5s, size 5. These are what I use. Or you could go and get something like Kim Dixon's swivel, the wood one, which is right there. That's the wood swivel that Kim Dixon and Merlin make. Or you could get a swivel from US Ohm Meters, has good swivels. That's the one I used before Kim Dixon's. I still got to test this one out, the Wire Ox. The Wire Ox swivel is cool, but you can't buy them anymore, so there's no sense in me showing you. Man, other than that, I think I'd have to just make a video and show you how my shit's set up. I like to have my wire in order so it's easy to find, even though I have trouble finding it anyway. I'd have a lot of trouble if I didn't have it in order. I like having my tools. I like a holder for my tools, my drill set up in a vise, my swivel's nice and sturdy. I'll have to make a video of it, but I can't do that until I clean this place up. And I just haven't had time. I'm actually dropping another video after this one tonight, and most likely another one tomorrow or Thursday. It's already recorded and damn near edited. The one video is edited. The one video is going up tonight. It is going up. The next one, next 2 days. So between that, work, help my daughter with her math homework, because I'm awesome at math and she's not. I'm a busy man. Busy, busy, busy. I'm just looking around if there's any. Oh, how could I forget? These little fucking things. These little things. Little clothespins or something like that. Cotter pins, bobby pins. I like them to put in my drill to keep the wire center. How I feel about talking about the tools is weird to me because these guys see what tools I use every video. But Allen keys you should have. I use bobby pins to keep the wire center in my drill. I put that in the center of my drill, keeps it centered. These work good for keeping your builds flat. These hair clips, I put tape on them to make them a little more flat. That works kind of like how these do, how these could hold aliens together or staggered builds together. There's so many things you could use. There's lots of people that just use shit that they have around the house. Like, dude, before I bought this, right, I took an old hammer I had, sanded it down, made it real flat and polished, and then I took a wrench, a crescent wrench that was nice and polished. I used to flatten my builds on that. Obviously, before I had these clothes clips, I would use stuff like this, the hair clips. That's a Richie Oliver special right there. That's who showed me how to use them. There's so many things like that you could do with just shit around the house. I mean, everybody's got screwdrivers. Everybody's got needle noses somewhere. If you don't have these, nail clippers work. There's so many things you could use. If you don't have these, take a flat pair of pliers, throw some fucking tape around there, or just use the flat pliers and just be careful. There's so many different things you could use. If you don't have this, use a drill bit. Drill bits work. A 3mm is about 1/8 of an inch. You could use so many different things. I used to use so many drill bits for that. Or most screwdrivers are around the same size. So this is another thing I have on my table for water, so I can get my ribbons together. I have this water squonk. I put the water on my finger, run it down the ribbon sticks together. There's just so many things you could substitute for this stuff, but this is what I have. This is what I use, and I want for nothing when it comes to tools and building. I always have what I need. I never get into a situation where I'm like, man, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. The only other thing is just like creative stuff. Like if I want to wrap a square coil, you got to get something that's square. If you want to wrap a triangle coil, you got to get something that's a triangle. There's just so many things that are creative that you could do that, you could use anything, You give me a fucking I don't know, a can opener, and I'll build with it. You could just do anything. You could do anything. You give me a light bulb, and I'll use it in a build. I'll make something creative. You can. Do I want to? Not really. But you can. Creativity and what needs to happen are two different things. Now, while we're on the subject of tools, building coils, just like any hobby, any art form, isn't just a physical thing. You don't just need physical tools. You don't just need physical tools like this and a lighter and stuff like that. You need mental tools, right? You need passion, patience, persistence, practice. Failure. You need failure. You need to fail to learn. Passion, practice, patience, and persistence. Those are the 4 P's I wrote down on my paper here. Passion, practice, patience, and persistence. And you need some fucking failure. So, that's all I got. That is all I got for the tools. And I can't believe that almost a half an hour has went by already. I really can't. Wow. Got a lot of building. Let's get to this extension build. I'm going to try to keep it simple so I get it done. Plus, I'm not the best at these because I haven't done them a lot. I know how to do them. I know the idea. An extension build basically is, we looked over some pictures. There was a guy that used to do them very good. His name is Coil and Trouble. Coil _and_ Trouble. Coil and Trouble. Space Coils does a lot of them. Builds by Talion does a lot of newer ones where he's not using just round wire. Today we're using just round wire. This is part of our round wire sessions. This will be the last of the round wire sessions, actually. Next week, we're going to go on to twisting. So extensions. So let me say hi to everybody, and we will get on to the build. Now I made a mess with all the tools all over. We will get to the build, and I will tell you about extensions and why I think extensions became a thing. Extensions came into the coil building very early, very early. They're one of the first exotic builds were extension builds, and captures yeah, captures too. Captures and extensions are very similar, but they're also very different. So participants are Addy, what's up, Addy J? Brian Feeney is here. Casper Coils, Diesel, Frank G, what's up? Glenn D, what's up? Jerry Lawrence, Kim Dixon, Lino Velez, Mr. Pebble, Ricky Webster, Simple Vapes, Zach Vapes. There's way more than this in here. What's up, everybody? I seen that my buddy Steve was here. I don't know if I said Marcesas. What's up? Lino Velez. Dreadful Coils is here. Sean O'Garrity. Bones the Skater. Steven AKN1. Man, there's a lot of people here that weren't on the participants list. What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a good week. It is Tuesday, March 26th. This is the second video, lesson number 2 for coil class. What's up, Bobby? Chris Payne's here. Ranger Vapes is here. Troy, what's up? What's up? What's up? So, extensions. Last week we did what? We did macro, micro, trico, split, and para and split. I put up a pre-recorded video of me doing them coils in better quality. If something like that happens again, I'll do a video with better quality. Same thing, like I might just do a tool video. It kind of depends. So the wires I'm going to use today are probably going to be something like, I don't know. Don't do this to me. 26 gauge stainless steel, I guess I'll use just because I have a lot of it. Or no, wait a minute. It don't matter. I have a lot of stainless steel 26 and 20 gauge Canthal. So extension builds are, man, maybe I should just go over to, I should have texted them. Extension builds and captures. So captures are going to be hard to find. Captures aren't as common as extension builds. Oh man, I don't want to do this. Nah, I'll just show you one. So today, to do this extension build, to do any extension build, you need the deck. You need the deck first. It's not, extension builds aren't something that you can build the coil and then pick out a deck and install it. That's not how that works. You got to get the deck first and then start to install. Extensions basically means you're extending the posts. You don't put the leads of the coil into the posts. You actually extend the posts with thick pieces of wire. And then you attach your coil leads to them thick pieces of wire. So I'm going to do a pretty fucking simple one just so you get the idea of what an extension is. And then I'm going to do a simple capture so you understand what a capture is. Hopefully they're both functional. Might be rough. Actually, I'm even thinking about the 26 gauge might be a bad idea. I'm not sure. I might have to switch to 27. Not sure. I can do 26. What's up, Greece? What's up, the other side of the world? What's up, everybody? So, while I do this, I probably won't be looking at chat because there is stuff to get done. This is about class. I do encourage crosstalk. Don't talk behind the teacher's back. Get out your notebooks. Hall passes in the back. One person at a time. So good. So good. All right. I think I might have set up my lighting pretty good. I'm not positive, though. We will see. Looks a little bright. All right, so I am going to use a fairly new RDA for this extension build because it, I think it calls for it. Actually, I just think this build calls for a newer deck. The way I'm going to do it anyway. It's just going to be easier to show you what an extension is with a newer deck. Dude, I scrubbed the shit out of my hand so many times and I still can't get this paint off. So I'm going to use the Equitas from Helvate. All right, this is a postless deck. So, made sense to me that we would want to extend the posts of a postless deck. Plus, I got a build in mind that wouldn't be that difficult to do. So this is the deck that I'm going to be working with. Positives are on one side, negatives are on the other. All right. Now with extensions, you want your extensions only going into the positive and only going into the negative. You don't want to cross over. All right. So basically what I'm going to be doing here is these two are positive. I'm going to be creating, one second. I'm going to be creating a bar with my 20 gauge into the positive. All right. You don't want to cross them, positive and negative. I'm going to be creating a bar over my positive. And then I'm going to be creating a bar with my 20 gauge over my negatives. All right. They're going to go into both the negatives to make them sturdy. This one's going to go into both the positives to make it sturdy. And then I'm going to take coils and put them across to them two bars. So just pay attention before you try so you understand that I am not putting this extension into positive and negative. I'm putting one extension into the positives, one extension into the negatives. There are so many different ways to do these builds. This isn't how you have to do it. It's how I'm doing this build. You could put it into just one of them if you want it. You really could. So let me undo this real quick. These screws. So I remember seeing extension builds very early in building. And I think it came from people centering their coils. Remember I showed you how to center your coils last week by bending the leads? I think that's how it started. Another way I think how it started is we used to rebuild our like pro tanks, our Aspire pro tanks, our pro tanks. When you built them, you noticed how simple it was to connect. It was just pieces of metal touching. That's all it was. There was no screws to put down. It was just one piece of metal touched one lead. There was a rubber grommet in between, and then another piece of metal would touch the other lead. It was just pieces of metal touching. So then you notice that to make the current go through, You just have to touch the two pieces of metal. That's it. You don't need to screw them down. As long as metal's touching metal, the current's connected. Metal, metal. That's all you need. All right. You don't need a screw for current to go through. You don't need that. So I'm going to get out my drill. All right. And I'm going to get some 20 gauge. All right. I'm going to get a good bit off, and I want to straighten it out. So I'm going to get my needle noses. I'm going to grab some 20 gauge because it's thick. You want your extensions to be thicker than your coils, for sure, for a couple reasons. You need them to be sturdy because you're going to be fiddling around with them a lot. And you need the current to go through the smaller coils before it goes through any kind of metal. Even though no current should be going through this metal, it should be going through the coil when it connects them. You will see. You want thicker metal for extensions. I really wouldn't suggest anything thinner than 24. 24 is really pushing it. It really just depends what you're building. It really does. I like just always messing with 20 when doing these. So first, I want to have a straight piece of wire to work with. All right. So I'm going to take this wire, put it into the drill, grab the other end like this, and twist. Let's do faster than that. Now I got a straight piece of 20 gauge. Very, very thick wire, 20 gauges. Very thick. All right. Now I can take this out of the drill. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I want to go back to the deck. So what I want is I want this bar, I kind of want it to be out here. I want this bar to be kind of out here a bit on the deck. I'm going to have to figure this out. All right. I want it out here a bit. Of course, it loses focus as soon as I do that. All right. So I'm going to have to put a bend in it so it comes out to there. And then I'm going to have to put a bend in it to go down into the post. All right. So first, I want to get my wire in there and see the post. All right. And I want to make my bend for the post, just like that. All right, so I got one bend in it for the post. And now I think I want to go up with it a bit. I want to bring these coils up. I'm not really going to worry if the cap fits on this one because it would just take too much time and too much measurements. So what I'm going to do is I want a short bend. I'm going to put my needle noses like that and bend up. Just like that. So now I got that type of a bend in it. I got two bends now. All right, so it's going to come out to there. All right. Now I want it to bend and start making its way over to the other post. So I'm going to take it with my needle noses and bend like that. So now I got three bends in it. All right. And you want to do these clean bends, these nice 90-degree clean bends. All right, so that's going to go like that. Now, I want to make my way down and over to this post. So I need to make sure that I bend it in the right place. And you got to think about when the screws close where it's going to be. Man, this might be a single coil extension build. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to measure it by looking at it, where it's going to end up. And I'm going to bend down. All right, so what's that, my fourth bend? All right, and then I'm going to take my needle noses in about the same place. This is where it gets tricky when you have to match up the last one. And I'm going to bend that up like that. And then I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to match that up and bend that down like that. Now I have this kind of seat looking bendy thing. All right, sometimes you might have to straighten it out a bit like that. All right, and now that I have that, I could actually cut it the same length as the other one. All right, and now I want to make sure that I put this in either the positives or the negatives. I don't want to connect the positive and negative together. I want to make sure that this goes into just the positive. I actually wish, whoa, where'd that go? I actually wish I would have did an extra bend, extra couple bends outward. But let me get that in there, and let's see what happens when I tighten it down. I don't think it's going to go too good. I think it's way too big for in there when the screws tighten down, because the screws are going to push this to the middle. The screws are going to want to push this to the middle. You'll see in a second. But that's okay. This is stuff you have to think about when you do it anyway. On just about every one of these builds, you got to think about this stuff. So I'm going to screw this one down tight, and that pushed it to the middle. Yep. It's the second one that's going to really give me the problem. All right, so now I made an extension of the post. I'm not going to worry about the little I'm not going to start nitpicking this. There's an extension of the posts. So if I do the same thing on this side, I could fit a pretty big old coil in there, right? Maybe two if I'm smart. I think I'm just going to do a single coil tonight, though, because I think I already messed up kind of, not making this big enough. And really, I'm just trying to get the point across of what an extension build is. So this is an extension right here. I made the extension of the posts. Now remember, these are in both the positives. You do not want to connect these. You don't want to connect this and this. It would cause a short and you'd have big problems. You want them both in the positive. Positive, positive, and now this one's going to be negative, negative. All right, let's make another. So I'm just going to copy what I did the best I can. I'm going to bend this over once. Then I'm going to bend it up. All right, check it. This could be bent up a little better. You want to have them sharp angles. All right, and then I'm going to bend it over. And then I'm going to bend it back down. There's my second one. In both negatives. I can't stress that enough. If you can't tell that I can't stress it enough that these go into the same one. Both go into the negative. I just don't want anybody doing something stupid and it being my fault. You need to be super careful when doing this build that you don't put it in the wrong leads. All right, if you got to fix it while it's in there, go ahead and do it. Tighten these down really good. That one's a little crooked. So that's what I was saying about extension builds. They're actually very hard to get looking very, very good and very like symmetric. I mean, if somebody challenged me to make a clean pitchfork or a clean extension, I'd pick the pitchfork all day. I'd rather deal with that because these could get very tricky to get looking good. All right. Let's get a coil across here. I'm just going to do a single coil right now because the capture may give me trouble, basically. Pretty cool, though. So I could use 26 for this. Is that what I want to do? See, 26 is good, but it could also be a pain in the ass. What I'm thinking is maybe thinner, but Let's do 26. Let's try it out. All right. So I'm going to get some 26 gauge stainless steel. I'm going to stretch it straight. All right. And even though I'm doing one coil, I want to have a good amount to work with right now. Now, I'm just going to get a 3mm bit, and I'm going to wrap a coil real quick. I'm going to do it as cleanly as I possibly can. All right. What's up, everybody coming in? What's up, Adam? All right, so just like we did the macro coils last week, I want to do a very clean 26 gauge macro coil. All right, not the cleanest, but okay. Let me show you something. Remember we were talking about, I was telling you how people used to do this bit right here. So I would take this macro coil, get it into the needle noses. I want to make sure that I don't have no fuckery going on, because when I burn this with the torch, it's going to stay when it cools down wherever it is. So I don't really want any weird shit going on. Good. Get it glowing red, the coil. Don't really want to hit the leads too much, and I'm going to let it cool down, pinch at the same time. And that's going to harden the metal to where I'm pinching it, which is also going to be good because of how I'm going to install this. Now, I'm going to let it cool down, take a bake. You can also put some water on it if you want to cool it down. I have a video on cleaning brass, and it would work for copper too. All right, it should be cool, and it should be much tighter than it was. It is, whatever. All right. I'm going to pinch it again with some tweezers. And I'm going to bend the leads out. And I'll show you why in a second. So I'm going to bend it out that way and bend it out that way. Could you please work with me, camera? Please. Got some colors on there a little bit. Bent the leads out that way and out that way. Now, back to the deck. I'm going to install this coil just like this on there. And there's a couple different ways I could do this. You could wrap it around there, which is probably how I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lead and bend it down after the coil center. I bent that lead down. Make sure I pull tight and bend this lead down. All right, so now I have both my bends in there. Now, some people used to just make hooks and hook it on there, and the tension would just keep it on there. But we'll wrap it around. So I think now I could put the bit back in. I think. I'm going to get this guy up in here real quick. I may have to cut them to work with them. This is what's going to be really hard to see. This is very tedious what I'm about to do. I'll try to just show you like picture by picture, I guess. So I'm starting to wrap it around that 20 gauge. So one wrap may do it. Like I said, some people sometimes just made hooks on there and hooked it onto the 20 gauge. I don't trust that as much. I don't want the coil to fall off or anything. So I'm going to do at least 2 wraps. And I'll leave it long for now. Let me take the bit out for a second. All right. Still a lot to do, lots of straightening to do and stuff. Gonna make this lead shorter. Now, if there's any way you could tighten it by like pinching it to the metal, do that. Every time I do something, the camera wants to not focus. Not the prettiest coil. Not the prettiest extension build I've ever seen. See if I could straighten it out to make it look a little better. You know what I should have did? I should have got one of my big old RDAs. But anyway. Not really a build you want to do super, super quick. But let's see what happens. I know what I should have did. I did a couple things that I shouldn't have did on this build that I should have did, but I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not trying to win and build off with this thing. I got 0.98 ohms, which I think makes sense. It's like a 9 wrap single piece of 26. Let's just see what happens. Extension, bitch. Did you say 0.9? Good for you. Good for you, Sad Station. Let's do this. Oh, it's so flimsy. So flimsy. I'm pushing a lot of watts. I'm pushing like 5 watts through this. So, not the prettiest thing. Dude, we may have to do an extension build one weekend. Do like a nice one. But you get the idea. There are so many people, not so many. There's a couple people that are really, really good at making these look good. Like really good. Could I do better? Hell yeah. But do you get the idea? I think so. Yeah, that's like glowing from the center right away. That's actually pretty good. Sometimes you'll see like heat come from here. like from the 26 on the thing, or it'll come just from the lead. But they could look a lot prettier even on there. I'm sure there's tricks. Like I've seen people do. How much time do I have? Let me see something. I've seen people do this. .24 gauge. Let me do this. So you know them round pliers I was showing you earlier? These guys? Let me do this. And just make a hook like that. And it's going to act like a spring, and it's going to pull away from itself. Yeah. So now basically what I'm going to have is just 2 hooks on either side, just like a basic spring. All right. And I tried to measure it so that it's too short for here, so I get some tension coming towards it. I'm going to cut out that 26 gauge real quick so I can kind of show you this. There's so many different ways you could do this. Now, a capture saturation station, I've seen do captures before. You don't see captures as often. But there, just 2 hooks. The 26 gauge is still on there, but just 2 hooks. Boom, boom. But it's pulling to the center, so there's tension on this. Watch. All the metal has to do is touch. That's all. Just touch. Yep, make sure the extension wire is bigger than the coil. That's all it has to do. Just touch. So them wraps that I put in the first one, they come out looking a little ugly, but they're just like, let's just put it this way. I don't want to be with this fucking coil because it's not fucking attached to anything. Of course I don't want to be, I don't want to suck it down my fucking throat. More for looks. Wouldn't suggest vaping these. Really wouldn't. All right. But that is an extension build. That is what they are all about. I don't think it's going to glow anymore because I just knocked it out of place. See how that lead's starting to light up? But then again, that's 24 and 20. All right. You don't have to connect them. You don't have to connect them positive to positive. You could do one coming up through the positive, one coming up through the negative, and connect them. You could just do a bar coming up, and that's it. You could do a bar on each side and put a coil there, put a coil there. You could do so many different things. It's just extending the post. That's an extension. Now a capture doesn't really use bars. It uses coils. One coil coming out of just the positive doesn't touch the negative. One coil coming out of the negative does not touch the positive. And then you put something in the middle. All right. So I'm going to use, now this is a throwback, a saper. Let's use a saper. What's up, Lethal Coils, Drip Coils, the Vapor Cat, Wade Nixon. If you want to shout out, just say something right now. Vaping Sage. I'm looking at if you have any questions, ask me. If you want to shout out that I haven't shout you out yet. If I haven't shout you out yet, let me shout you out. Say something in the chat and I'll shout you out. Stalker, what's up? You want to get shouted? I'll shout you out. Just say something. What is up, everybody? Shout out to Stalker. Shout out to Saturation Station. Shout out to Lime Dog Chris. Get your shout out. I'm chatting all over. A coil jig? Master Verb, what's up? Wade Nixon, a coil jig? This is a coil jig. I mean, I could show you the other stuff that you use with this. Actually, I don't know if I have one. They have like these things that you put in there and you could twist. This isn't for this one, but they do have them. Do I have any of them right here? I don't. But that's a coil jig. Oh, from Cal's Irons. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. All right. This Saper is a 4-post. Oh, swivel? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they look like. They're 3D printed, right? Are they the magnet ones? Oh, I got a coil in there. Ooh. I think I got a jigsaw coil in there. Oh, that's a good one. I forgot I did that. This is a good coil right here. I completely forgot I did that. Just twist it ribbon flattened. We never put that on the list, but I guess we can. All right. So this isn't a good RDA for this. This isn't a good RDA for this. A twisted mess is, yeah, I'm going to use this instead. Twisted mess is squared because I have a build in mine already. Also master verb. All right. Let me just get this coil out of here. All right. So let me show you what a capture is, or you could call it a trap or a capture. Doesn't matter. Same difference. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 3.5 millimeter bit. 3.5. 3.5. I'm going to take some of the 20 gauge. I really want to do a nice extension soon. I do. I'm going to take the 20 gauge and I'm going to wrap a coil. I don't know, 2 or 3 wraps. All right. Yeah, let's do 2 or 3 wraps. I'm going to need my needle noses to hold the 20 gauge because 20 gauge is strong. And I want this to be tight. I want it to be a tight 20 gauge coil. That's 2 or 3 wraps. I'm going to have to do 2 wraps and see what it looks like. Actually, I'm going to get another pair of needle noses to make sure that it is really tight. There's that 3 wrap around a 3.5. I'm going 4 wrap. This twisted mess is huge. Four wrap. All right. Now, I'm going to cut the one lead completely off so I don't even have a lead on the one side. I have a 1 lead coil. Now, I'm going to install this 1 lead into the furthest post on the twisted messes, just like that. All right. You could actually even be touching the post. It doesn't matter. Let me tighten this down and I'll show you. I think I got to move my whole desk. I've been looking at other people and how they set up their lighting for their streams, and I think I got my lighting all wrong. All right. So 1 coil, there's only 1 lead. There's no lead going anywhere else. 1 lead, 1 coil. I want to get another one over here, all the way on the other side. Take the 3.5 millimeter bit. I'm actually going to wrap it backwards as well. All right. just so I can get some kind of symmetry. 2, 3, and 4. Straighten out that lead. Tighten her up. Cut the one lead off. Damn near flush. Now I'm going to get him into the other far post, just like that. If this capture goes better than the extension, that would be the opposite of what I thought this video was going to be. I thought I'd have more problems with this, but I'm not done yet, so give me time. Give me time. I got plenty of time to fuck this one up, too. Now, we got to get a coil in there. We could just get a coil in between there and close it in. We could get a coil actually inside of there. We could do a whole bunch. It's kind of the same as an extension. I extended the posts in a way. All right. Let me see what happens if I take, actually, let me see if it's around. Shit, what did I do with it? There it is. Let's see if this fits in here. No, it doesn't. So a 3mm coil won't fit in there. Let me wrap a coil. I got to figure out what fits in there. What's going to fit in there? A 3.5 is going to fit in there. What coil would be as thick as a 3.5? Probably something around a 2.5. Let's do, I want to do all round wire. Let's get a 2.5 bit out. And let's wrap, let's see what happens if I wrapped, let's see if I wrap 26 gauge around a 2.5, what would happen? There's a bunch of ways you could do this. You could actually even close it in. You could, there's so many different ways you could get this coil to work. I'm just playing a guessing game now. Since I'm only using round wire, I don't really care to waste it. It's not taking me a long time to make. Obviously, this coil is going to be super long, but it doesn't need leads. There's no leads needed. Looks like this might be too small, but how small? Pretty small, but I think 25 would work. 25 gauge nichrome. I'm going to get a big piece. Man, I actually would like it if I had an actual coil jig set up. I don't know where the hell. Oh, here they are. All right, where's the 2.5? That's the 3.5, 1.5, and 2. So I just found all of them besides the one I needed. There it is. 2.5. So this is how a coil jig works. Coil jig. Throw him in there. That. Take the 2.5. These wrap coils actually very good, especially round wire. I need this coil to be super long. I think this is going to work. This 25 gauge coil. And captures are like extensions. There's so many different ways to do it. Like what's it called? The rod build that the dude does. What's his name? Ghost Vapor. He does that rod build or that Gatling gun build, whatever it's called. That is that's a type of all right. I cut the one lead off of there. All right. I'm going to see if this coil can fit into that hole. Dude, it's fucking perfect. 25 gauge around a 2.5. 25 gauge around the 2.5. What? Goes into a 3.5 inside diameter with 20 gauge anyway. Cut the other lead off. What? What? Not touching the posts. This build's gonna be so high. Let's get this 20 gauge cut. Damn, I think the top cat's gonna fit too. You could do an extension and a capture in one build. You could capture the one side with a coil, extension on the other side. So many possibilities. Man, if this works, we're trying another extension, people. We're trying a fucking extension. I don't see any reason why this isn't going to work, actually. That is like a perfect fit. Wow. This may be my favorite build ever. Ever. Best build ever. Right here. It's the first time I ever tried this, actually. This exact build with just round wire. I've done them with like aliens inside and shit. Let me just tighten down the leads one more time. .71 ohms. Here we go. Here we go. You ready? And there might be a hot spot, but that would be okay. Oh, buddy. How many watts is that? 24 watts, and that thing's firing like that? Holy shit. That's just 24 watts. How many? 3.3 volts with 24 watts. That's cool. How cool is that? The coil's not even touching the posts. Now, eventually that 20 gauge would kind of start glowing because the coil's getting so hot. Look how long it takes to cool down. My hand's off the button. Watch my finger go off the button. Watch. Fire. Let go of the button. Takes forever to cool down. That's cool. Gonna need a picture of that one. Shit. I need a picture of a fucking extension now. I want to get... What's in here? Can't do it in there. I mean, I could. I could put an extension up, down, and around. Okay, let's put one in this big ass RDA. I got to take that out, but that's okay. I thought this was already taken out, but whatever. The only thing is, I don't really like the screws on this. Whatever, let's do it. Let's do it. Only one lead in each post. One lead in each post. It's just an extension of the post, basically. See these holes? There's nothing in them. Just a 20 gauge in one. Now this would only work. This type would only work on a deck that is like the Twisted Messes on a 2-post. It would work on any 2-post. Wouldn't work on a 4-post like the support I just had out. It wouldn't have worked on there because those are negative. All right, that's only because one's positive, one's negative. I should have did that in here and used the Twisted Messes for the extension. I'll figure this out. All right. Let me get this build out of here. And I have an idea for an extension build. I just want to do better. I want to be better. And I actually have an idea to be better. I need an extension build for the picture, so. All right, so this is just a 2-post. Let's just call this a 2-post. I actually would like to do it in some, whatever, dude, whatever. Let's do it. I'm going to get some 20 gauge straightener. The drop solo. You could do it in the drop solo. You could do it in a drop. Yep, because that's like a 2-post. You could do stuff in that. Extensions are cool inside of postless, but it doesn't have to be postless. You could do extensions, however. All right, let me get some 20 gauge out and straighten it. Straightening it also makes it a little stronger. When you're talking about these big old wires, it kind of shortens them up and makes them a little stronger. Alright. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to make, at least on one of them, I'm going to make a square out of the post. I'm going to make a square going around the post. So I'm going to take my needle noses and I'm going to do one bend. You almost always have to do that bend, but with an extension, always. You have to do at least one bend somewhere, right? Okay. And now I want to go over the screw with another bend. Which just might be a bitch to tighten down at the end of the day, but that's what I want to do right there. And then I want to go down again. Like that. I just want to make a square out of it. That's all. Or a rectangle. Whatever. Like that. Now, I could put this guy straight through like that. Bring him over here like that. And let's tighten them down. I hope these screws are good. They're big ass screws. They should be good. Okay. Thank you, Travis. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. That Travis is a good guy. All right. I guess I'll just do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, why not, right? This is how we do it. And I'm just going to try to put it up to the other one and get it the same exact bends. So I'm literally putting it right next to the one. And like tracing it with the bends. So that just happened. What's up, T Divine? so hard to get them looking perfect. It's crazy. All right, let's make some. I guess I'll try the 24 gauge again. And for right now, I guess I'll make like 2 of them. I'm gonna do them around the 2.5. Anyway, so around the 2.5. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do 12. Let's look how perfect they get. That actually looks like it would be pretty cool. I put it all the way on one side, or I can just put it up top here for now. Yeah. So I'm actually going to harden this metal by heating it up. You put the wire through the hole. If you don't have a coil jig, if you have a coil jig, it's pretty easy. You just put the wire in the hole. Do people not know how to use the coil jig? Are you kidding me? Yeah, there's just holes in there. You stick the wire through the hole. Boom. And you're out. Let me get this done. I'm already running out of time here. I got video to edit too. I guess I'll do the hooks on this one. I think I'm going to do hooks on some and wraps on some. extension's moving quite a bit. Quite a bit it's moving. Jesus. 24 gauge strong. I even did something so that it wouldn't really do that, and it still did it. What's up, Freddie? Tell Dawn I said, what's up? I haven't talked to you in a while. Alright. So that'll be the first coil I put in there. But I could just slide it over if I wanted also. And put more in. I'll figure it out. But just to show you that it's up to snuff, because we got to get this video done. .71 for this coil. There it is. Cool. The only thing I'm afraid of is if I put another spring one on there, that it may pull it closer even more, which would suck. That would suck really bad. I'll figure it out. I'm going to put more coils all up on this. But for now, yeah, show me your extension or your capture. Tag, hashtag, coil, class. I'll show it in the next coffee talk. Show in the next coffee talk. I'll see what videos I can get out of this. Man, extensions are hard to make look good. I think one of the things I may be doing wrong is just making these squares too big. Maybe even just making the squares may not be a good idea. I didn't think these were too big, though. This might have worked if I would have tried a little harder, actually. Maybe make smaller coils in there. That probably would have worked. But either way, it does actually work. It's just not exactly what I want it to. I want it to look awesome, and I don't look awesome with this, do I? But man, that 2 hours flew by. Next week, we're going to move to twisted wire. So we're going to start getting fancy. This is actually pretty advanced, this video. Doing extensions and captures can be a very advanced type of build. So if you get one, good on you. Good on you. You could get an extension or a capture. Oh, that's what I want to tell you. I want to see glow shots on these pictures. Not just the build. I want to see glow shots. I want to see that shit working. I am going to do a giveaway about that tag at some point. I'm probably going to wait until the 3rd week, and whoever did like all 3 will get put into the hat, and I'll choose a winner. It'll be something cool. It'll probably be that mod that I still haven't given away. There you go. Yeah, that one's stupid. I'm wondering if there's easier ways to do these that I'm not doing. I'm not sure. If maybe if I wrapped around the 20 gauge and slid it on or something. I bet I could do that. It amazes me how some people are able to make these look so damn good. But who knows? I think I know what I want to do with this one. I'll play with it, but first I need to edit video and I need to eat dinner. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you are enjoying the videos that I'm putting up. Next week we should get pretty interesting because there's going to be a bunch of twisted wires we could do. Don't get discouraged if you're having hard times with this, because look at me. That extension's rough. This capture though. That capture though. Ooh, I like that one. Daddy sees and daddy likes. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. The latest you'll see me live is Saturday night. I don't know when Coffee Talk will be, so just pay attention to the channel. But there will be videos up. I'm uploading a video tonight. It's going to be a review, but it's going to be a video. It's not going to be that long either. It's almost done being edited. It's going to be up very soon. Very soon. Probably within the next hour or so. And then I got the Turk tutorial done. I just have to edit some stuff together. Not too much though, because I didn't make mistakes. I didn't make no mistakes. So everybody have a good one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
On a cloudless afternoon in a room full of emptiness by a freeway, I confess I was lost in the pages of a book full of death, reading how we'll die alone and if good. Rest anywhere we wanna go. Hey, your house, I long to live. Oh, my own, patiently, I'll wait for you there. Like a song, I'll wait for you there alone. baby. Oh, in your house alone today. Roll my road patiently. I'll wait for you there. Like a stone, I'll wait for you there. Alone.
Watch Golf T Vapes. You can get all the songs in the videos. All the songs links are put in the videos. So watch Golf T Vapes for them links. You can get them songs easy. Also, they hit me for a copyright strike on Hungry Eyes. You believe that shit, Adam? They fucking hit me with a copyright strike. Somebody fucking flagged my fucking video. Obviously, YouTube didn't do it, but somebody flagged my video because you sung that song so fucking good. They thought it was the real version. I'm out of here. This shit's fucking nuts.